Welcome to What the Wrestling, a show where I take a look at the various wrestling companies and their goings-on that confuse me and sometimes tick me off. And I'm going to start with NXT, where internet billionaire Cameron Grimes, he's met his match, as he has now been part of segments where he's been getting repeatedly one-upped by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He's been beaten at an auction. He's tried to get into a nightclub and rejected, only for DiBiase to get in because he bought the place. These segments are actually pretty funny, really, but the Battle of Millionaires on a wrestling show is a little silly. Over on AEW, Ethan Page returns from the dead. Now, you might remember in a previous episode over on Impact, Ethan Page died. We saw him rip his own heart out when he was facing the Karate Man, who was himself. Well, he seems to be perfectly fine. He got over that easy enough. And now he's over on AEW, using his egomaniac gimmick. That's not AEW's fault. It's nothing. It's just where he's working now. But I just find it particularly silly because of the current partnership with AEW and Impact. AEW also recently hosted its Blood and Guts match. It's essentially War Games between the Inner Circle and Pinnacle. It was a decent match all the way through until the end, when Pinnacle got the win by basically holding Chris Jericho hostage at the top of the cage, with MJF saying, "I'll toss him off the top of the cage. I'll do it unless you surrender." And they did. And then he tossed him off the cage anyway. And it would have looked really good if he landed on the designated spot and going through, sure, but had it designed to look like he wasn't supposed to, you know? But instead, the place, turns out he landed on a piece of plywood covered by a stunt crash pad. That's what it looked like to me anyway. It was hokey as all get out, and I'm not the only one who thought it was terrible. Over to WWE, we have a developing tag team of Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, or as Matt Riddle would call it, RK Bro. And it's dumb, but it's growing on me. Back to the subject of the living dead, on WWE's Backlash, we had a match between Miz and Damian Priest. A lumberjack match. They had been going at it for a while, and Damian Priest was getting tired of the Miz escaping the matches in one way or another. So, he proposed a lumberjack match. So far, so good. Lumberjack matches are serviceable. However, at Backlash, this took a weird turn as it was sponsored by Army of the Dead, an upcoming movie at the time starring David Bautista. Well, as a result, the lumberjacks were zombies. Not dressed as zombies, we're supposed to believe they were actually zombies. And they were much less interested in getting you back in the ring and much more interested in eating you. So instead of a match, it basically kind of turned into a standard zombie movie with all the tropes and things. And it was really, really dumb. Anyway, and with that note, that's pretty much all I had gathered this time for What the Wrestling. Hopefully June's gonna turn out a lot better than May. But we won't know that yet, and we'll find out next episode. Until then, I'll see you in the ring.